Welcome back, it's Seth here. Do you constantly feel like you're falling behind even though you're working really hard to get ahead? You see that neighbor pull up in a nice brand new car or your friend flexing that new watch on social media. When you're working really hard, investing and cutting expenses, but you still feel like you're falling behind. Well, in this video, I'll be discussing why you might be feeling like you're falling behind, but in reality, you really aren't. However, before I dive deeper into this video, please hit the like button down below, and if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe to help grow our channel. Now that you hit the like button, let's dive in. So the first reason why you might not actually be falling behind is that people are giving the illusion of wealth. When you log into social media, all you see is people really celebrating their success. You will see people posting about the brand new car that they purchased, or the brand new house that they bought, or their amazing vacation that they just went on. As you're scrolling on social media, you start thinking, what am I doing wrong? The truth is that people love giving the illusion that they're wealthy than actually being wealthy. So, times when you see an acquaintance post about a brand new car that they purchased, which would cost someone a lot of money to buy, there is a very good chance that they got a car loan to purchase that vehicle. It's reported that 80% of new vehicles are either financed or leased in the United States, according to the 2023 data from the Federal Reserve. And about one third, 38% of used vehicles are financed. And all those posts about people going on their lavish vacation, well, let me break it to you that most people are going to credit card debt to go on these vacations. Credit card debt has been growing year over year. And currently in Canada, the average credit card debt is $4,415. And in the US, the average credit card debt is $6,735. So if you're an individual that hasn't been on a lavish vacation, but have next to no or very little credit card debt, pat yourself on the back because you're doing way better than the average North American. Now, moving on to the second reason why you're actually not falling behind, and that is that income does not equal wealth. One thing that people don't realize is just because someone generates higher income than you does not mean that they're wealthier than you. Someone could make $120,000 a year, which is a great salary, but spend over $130,000 a year. And to fund that lifestyle, these individuals will have to go into debt. To have a sustainable life, the goal is to grow our wealth over time. And this is done by saving and investing. So let's say you're someone who makes $75,000 a year. Our goal is to save and invest 20% of our income. So this would be $15,000 a year. If you're able to save and invest $15,000 a year at a 10% average return over a 35-year period, your investment portfolio would be worth well over $4 million. With a $4 million portfolio, you could use the 4% rule and live comfortably for the rest of your life once you retire. If you're not aware of what the 4% rule is, this is where you can withdraw 4% from your portfolio every single year, assuming that the market grows greater than 4%. So let's say 8%. So if the market grows by 8%, by withdrawing 4%, you're still left with a growth of another 4%. So basically ensuring that you won't run out of money. So with a $4 million portfolio, if you withdraw 4%, this would be $160,000. And you can withdraw this money every single year without breaking a sweat. So what this means is even though someone might be making $120,000 a year, but if they're spending $130,000 each single year without saving or investing, they will go broke in no time. Even though you may be making less money than them, as long as you're saving and investing for the long term, you'll be just fine. And actually, you'll be way better off than them. Now, moving on to the third reason why you actually might not be falling behind, and that is that people that do have wealth don't actually show it off. I think this is a huge factor that most individuals don't even think about. People that have wealth do not care enough to show it off. And those individuals that are flexing all the cars, money, and vacations that they're going on usually end up being the ones that don't really have money. So if you actually look at the super wealthy, most of them really don't care about showing their wealth. And one of these examples is one of the best investors of all time, Warren Buffett. Warren Buffett is worth over $142 billion. Yes, that's 142 with the big B. But here's the thing. Warren Buffett still drives his 2014 Cadillac, making it well over 10 years old, and every morning goes to McDonald's for breakfast. This is nothing flashy like the other people you see on social media. And to add to this, Warren Buffett still lives in the first house that he purchased in 1958 for $31,500. Another great example is Bill Gates, who's worth over $103 billion. Bill Gates is often seen walking around in non-designer clothing and even rocking a $70 Casio watch. And it's quite simple why, because they just don't care to show off their wealth. Most wealthy clients that I've worked with are not the individuals that you're probably thinking about. They are individuals that do not wear flashy jewelry, live in modest homes, and drive Hondas and Fords, not Lamborghinis. So you don't need to show off your wealth to be considered wealthy. Just know the real wealthy people just don't care enough to show their wealth off. Now, the fourth reason why you actually might not be falling behind is that because of the grass is greener syndrome. This is my favorite because we might look at someone else and say they didn't work for their wealth, or they just didn't work as hard for their wealth, whereas we are grinding day and night. But the truth is, we have no idea what issues and struggles another individual is actually going through. This so-called wealthy person could have worked crazy hours in an accounting firm working their way up in their career, or have worked a really stressful job as an investment banker. They could have had multiple jobs or side hustles that you're not aware of. All of these coming with a ton of stress just so they can make a higher income and say that they have made it. The truth is, once you realize how someone actually made their wealth, you may not want to make the same sacrifices to gain wealth as fast as them. Once you recognize that, you probably won't want to compare your life to theirs because you don't want that level of headache and stress. Simply put, that lifestyle is just not for you, and there's nothing wrong with that. Now, moving on to the fifth and last reason why you're actually not falling behind, and that is other individuals may have silent family wealth. This is another big factor that one should consider, is that someone may look wealthy because they have a lot of family support due to generational wealth. This doesn't mean that this individual didn't work hard enough in their life to create this wealth. It just means that they had a huge financial backing from their family, which gave them a leg up to build wealth faster. These individuals could have inherited a business, a property, or investments that really gave them this push to become wealthier much faster. And from my personal experience, when I see these generational businesses, one thing I have noticed is that usually the founders or the first generation that created this business are the ones that worked really hard in helping grow and making the business successful. Usually the following generations are the ones that don't really work as hard to grow the business. They usually live off the wealth that the business is generating and live their life. But here's the truth. This is not something you can control, and focusing on this is quite useless. Not everyone is this lucky, and at the end of the day, you don't get to choose what family you get born into. So the goal is to focus on your life and not compare yourself to others. At the end of the day, we have no idea what's actually going on in someone else's life. So we should just focus on our own life and try to become the best versions that we can of ourselves. In the end of the day, just stay true to your own grind. So that's it for this video. If you guys enjoyed this video, please hit the like button down below if you already haven't, and please stay tuned for future videos. And until next time, remember to keep investing.